We're on a quest to find the world's best new music and to honor and promote independent artists like you. We hope you'll submit your music and become part of our competition. You'll find the entry form at www.globalmusicawards.com.
I have Cassandra Gaddis with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's nice meeting you.
I know, we just met, right? And you have a social media background. Why don't you tell me a bit about that?
Sure. So for the last 4.5 to 5 years, I've worked with my husband in video production, but we've also been able to do a lot of music videos for independent artists and short films, and now our first full feature film. But we've worked a lot with musicians, and we understand as an artist and in the creative industry, just really making a name for yourself and having people be aware of what you're able to do.
You know for sure that social media is a time sucker, that you can spend a lot of time with it. Musicians are busy, obviously, and musicians want to perform mostly. So why should they pay attention to social media? What's in it for them?
And that's a great question. One thing that is really interesting is, as a musician, as a performer, as an artist, you know that there's a stage that you go on to. But there's two stages, really. There's the on stage and there's the online stage. They're both platforms, and if you use them correctly, it just elevates further your on-stage presence when you're actually at a gig, at a performance, or something like that. So they're both hand-in-hand, equally as important, because when you perform, you want people to recognize you, to follow, and essentially to become a customer, a follower of your brand, of your music.
One of the things that sort of is cool historically about being a musician, you can be sort of a rock star and aloof, and you know, you can do your performance and then you can kind of disappear and you don't have to touch people. But we live in a different age, I think. We live in an age where people have different expectations. So with regard to social media, it is social and it is about building relationships. So what are the implications for musicians who just don't, really don't want to press the flesh so much with fans?
Well, you have to stay true to yourself and true to your personality, your brand. So if you don't want to be too involved, there are ways to still be involved enough. But just like with music, you have to stay true to the words, true to the music, to yourself. So I would just say, kind of be out there, have a presence. Go on there at least once a week, or just depending on the platform, go on there at least once a month. Because again, you do this for yourself to be creative and to be expressive. But you also have all these fans who are emotionally attached to your words, and they have that feeling. So you do it for your fans.
I think that's the key. I think people take music very personally, and fans take it very personally. And social media is a way that you can actually be personal back.
Yes.
And when two people are connected in that way, it's that power of relationship can do a lot for musicians as a business. That is, it sets the future stage for people who will want to buy their albums or their vinyl. It'll be more inclined to fill up a gig on tour or even locally. It's sort of business 101 that when somebody likes you, you have to stay in touch with them, because they're the easiest person who is likely to buy a ticket or buy an album. Do you agree with that?
I agree, yeah. I mean, they're investing into your music, but then when you contact them back on social, you're adding more value to them. You're adding more value than the words and the experience that they have from your music, because it's continuing that cycle. So yes, for sure. It's a huge responsibility. I think that anyone that does anything creative especially has, and you kind of owe it to your fans in a way. But again, like you were saying, there's different types of musicians, so within your own boundaries of that. But I think that it also is self-rewarding, because you get that connection with the fan, and you really get to see what it is that they're really feeling about your music. Also lets you know in the future, maybe certain people liked a certain song you had, and now you know to do more of that song, maybe do its own album. So it's really interesting.
You mentioned before we started filming something about Pandora. Tell a little bit more.
Yeah, so some of y'all may have seen on Pandora, it's just been out the first the last couple of weeks that I've noticed, they have this campaign where when you press the thumbs up that you like a music piece that you heard, for some people it'll actually send the artist to have some sort of kind of like a webinar, kind of like a Skype interaction with that fan, and it's just a surprise and delight feature that they have. So we were talking about possibly looking at whether it's with Skype or through an email marketing campaign, sending out a video, letting your fans know how much you appreciate them, and again, it's just that surprise and delight. And artists can do that without even being on there.
Musicians
Watching
this
of course.
can make that, potentially make that happen.
Even on
where
Twitter.
a fan gets a chance to talk to you, and you know how exciting that would be for somebody that likes a particular person's music, because they will then be buzzing that to all their friends, which may result in additional sales of tickets or CDs or something.
And the great thing with that too is if you're worried about the time commitment portion of it as a musician, you're able to do, let's say you do a Pinterest party or a Twitter hashtag event, then you just connect that time to actually talk with them. There's no airfare involved. It's sometimes people think, oh, fly them out to this event. Well, and as musicians, we all know how sometimes that can be challenging. So having this as a way to still be in front of them, make those connections, especially because even though it's a one-on-one thing, it trickles, like you were saying.
It's social media really offers an opportunity to stay in touch with people who like you.
Yes.
And that just has a lot of nice benefits over time.
Yeah.
It's a great tool. I mean, I know it's a great tool.
Yeah, I love it too. It definitely is. Great.
Well, Cassandra, thank you so much. And if anyone would like to contact you, do you have a way that they can contact you?
For sure. So there's two ways. Twitter is a great way, which is at Cass Gaddis. That's CAZGADDIS. And you can also reach us through our website. It's gaddisvisuals.com. That's Gaddis, my last name, GADDIS. And then visuals, like I can visually see you. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you guys. If you guys just want to creatively think and brainstorm about stuff, always on for that.
So just the last thing, you and your husband just produced a feature film.
Yes, we did.
What is the name of the feature film?
Sure, it's called Left, and it's in post-production right now, actually in California. It's full feature, hour and a half. Right now I think it's the rough cut's 1 and 45 minutes. So we'll see how that goes.
Do you have a website for the film yet?
We are currently, as you know, when you're a musician or in your own thing, sometimes your own thing is the last thing to be done. So I am in the process of creating the website now. But we do have a Facebook page. It's leftthemovie.com. Well, sorry, it will be .com once the website's up, but it's Left the Movie on Facebook.
L-E-F-T.
Yes, the movie. And it's really
Left
interesting.
the movie.
And actually, it's about a musician. So...
Oh,
look at the
I like
connection.
this.
Saw
I didn't
that?
know
I was
that.
just like, okay. Yes, it's about a musician. And just a little kind of side note, the reason it's called Left is because she's a left-handed musician. She only has her left hand in use. Oh. It's going to be awesome. I hope you guys can check it out once we have it out. It's very, very real.
Good. So. Well, good luck with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was very nice meeting you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We encourage you to submit your best music to Global Music Awards. Receiving our honors will impact you in incredibly positive ways and expose your music to a wider audience, including music industry insiders. Submit your best music to Global Music Awards so we can help boost you to the top. You'll find the entry form at www.globalmusicawards.com.